guys, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to my channel, Simply Katie. So I have actually been away from YouTube for about 2 weeks now. I only just started, so I know I don't really have many followers, so I'm not too worried about letting people wait, to be completely honest, because there's not many people watching anyway at the moment. But anyway, the reason why I have been gone is because I am looking for a job. And I've been so busy trying to get my, I suppose, resume together and go out and apply everywhere online. No luck yet, but I did have an interview and I'm waiting to hear back if I got the job. Fingers crossed. But anyway, I also had a little issue with the internet. When I finally decided that it was time to get back and start uploading things, the internet was really slow and I didn't know why. So my brother, he did a little bit of Googling and he found out that they are actually doing some work on the, I suppose you call it, the telephone poles in the little town that we live in. So that lasted for a few days, so I couldn't do anything on the internet basically at all within those few days while they were doing their little work. But they finished up yesterday, which means internet is back up, and I have had this video ready, waiting. So finally, time to do the voiceovers, and hopefully I will remember to get it up today. Sometimes I forget to actually upload it. I'll complete it and I'll forget to upload it. But anyway, so with this apartment, I decided to go for an industrial theme. At first you can see I was going with a red and black theme, because I was sort of imagining that sort of a young male would live in this house, and I sort of felt like he would be the kind of male who is into design and into artwork, and be a little bit creative. In saying that, I didn't manage to get a art easel in here. I wish I could have, but the house was just too small. But I believe this little apartment here is in the Spice Market, which I didn't actually mention that I am actually doing an apartment renovation from the new City Living expansion pack. I suppose it's not so new anymore because it came out in October, but because I was busy and all of that, I didn't bother doing a lot of reviews and all of that, and introduction to City Living, because there are a lot of YouTubers out there already doing that, and since I was busy, it just made sense to just let the other YouTubers do that. And but yeah, so anyway, this is an apartment renovation, and this one I'm pretty sure is in the Spice Market. I know the Spice Market is supposed to be the lower end area for apartments, and things are supposed to be a little bit more run down, but I don't think it necessarily has to be like that. I certainly did not choose to make it a lower end apartment, just because I envisioned that it was going to be a young creative male in here, and I feel like he wouldn't have sort of a rundown home. I feel like he would have sort of a nice little apartment. Even if he had a studio apartment, that would have been a great idea as well if I did a studio apartment. Unfortunately, I did not think of it until now. But yeah, I thought it would be nice if it was industrial, and I think I did already mention that. I feel like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like whenever I see TV programs or design magazines, or pictures on the internet of industrial houses, I feel like it would be a creative person's home. I don't know why, I just feel like it would be. And I'm putting in these mirrors here. The house itself is quite small, and so the bedroom is quite small also. So in real life, if you were to use mirrors, they sort of make the space feel bigger, and that's what I tried to do here, was put all those mirrors in so that the room would look bigger. And I just overlaid, it's not a mod mirror, I've just overlaid some of the base game mirrors, and I've used the 9 key on the keyboard to raise them up. I also really like this new wall lamp that we have there. I think it's also really cool when you have the move objects cheat on, and if you use it as a ceiling light. I think it looks quite cool, especially over a dining table if you have like a big industrial home. Even these little steel pipings, I think they're really cool, because with this apartment in particular, it comes with the TLC trait, and the TLC trait comes with pipes and an electrical box that are non-removable, so there's no way you can get rid of it, so you sort of have to build around it. And because that is also another reason why I went with the industrial feel, because of those pipes and that power box. It sort of feels industrial to have those exposed pipes and all of that, so I thought it would be a great way to tie those into the style of the house and make it look like it's supposed to be there. So we're just putting in a what do you call these things? The things above the oven, like a oven hub. I'm not too sure what you call them. If somebody knows what they're called, feel free to leave the name of it in the comments below, because I really have no idea what it's called. In saying that, I think I just realised what it's called. I think it's called an exhaust, an oven exhaust. I think that's what it's called. So I decided in the end to take out those chairs and those tables. They weren't really industrial enough for me. I sort of wish that I had, that these chairs, they had them in a red. I think it would have looked nice. And I remember when I was doing this, I was experimenting with the shelving. I had this idea in my head, but for whatever reason, every time I tried to put it in the game, it wasn't coming out the way I had it in my head, if that makes sense. I sort of figured out some sort of layout that still worked. It wasn't exactly what I was picturing, but I think it looks nice either way. I think having things like exposed shelves in an industrial build does also make it feel more industrial, and just having, you know, random jars and random items, I think that they do create a lot of character when it comes to industrial homes. It would have been nice if the apartment itself had a different window, but you can't change windows on the outside of the lot, on the outside of the apartment lot, you can't change the windows, so you just have to work with them. And I thought, even though they're not exactly industrial style, I do later add some blinds that sort of make it feel more industrial. And here we are looking for those piping again, because I really just wanted to keep the pipe theme carried throughout the house. These billboards are really cool. I thought I would be able to find one that suit the look and feel of the house, but I didn't in the end. As you can see, I have changed this lounge room so many times, and it's just because it was such a small space that I was having a lot of difficulty trying to figure out how I was going to lay this out. I decided to use these industrial beams, and I thought it would look really cool if I turned it into some sort of shelving. I have done that previously in a country build, and I tried to make them look like railway sleepers, and those looked really great with that theme, and I think they work relatively well in an industrial build as well. So your Sims can get into this house. I was a little bit cautious that they may not get through the door because of how close I had the couch originally, but it was fine. They can get in easily. You can see a lot of the new objects from the city living, which I'm not going to go through because I know most people would already have seen them. And this little statue here, that little horse statue, is quite cool. At first I didn't like it because I didn't think it would ever go with anything in the game, but when I used it in this build I realised that, you know, it is useful in some areas. I did take out the red chairs in the lounge and the red chairs in the kitchen, so I've sort of taken away a little bit of the red and black theme, but I've tried to keep it by keeping those paintings in there, and the red brick as well with the darker colours. It is quite a dark apartment, but I feel because there is only three windows in the whole build, there's not much you really can do about it. You could put windows in the interior walls if you wanted to. I have seen Delicacy do that with her industrial build, and that looks great. I liked that idea. But yeah, you could do that with the bedroom to let more light in. I mean, you definitely would not want to do that with the bathroom. I mean, I suppose you could if it was just one person living here, which it is. But when you've got visitors, it's not exactly ideal. So these are the blinds I am talking about. I raised them up higher on the wall so that light could still come through the windows, because they do hang quite low on the window themselves. So by raising them, it lets some of the natural light still come into the little apartment. And when I was building this bathroom, I don't know what about it, but something about it just reminded me so much of like a fire station. I mean, I've never been inside a fire station, but every time I've seen them on TV and programs and movies and all of that things, they always have red bricks. That's always how they're kind of portrayed, like red and white. And I mean, it would be really great if we could have a fireman pole. Then we could really build a firehouse. I remember, I think it was Sims 2 had a fire pole. I think. I thought that was pretty cool, but we don't have it in this game, unfortunately. So here I've decided to put this garage door. It's more just of a wall decal. Because he's an artsy guy, it does suit quite well. And we are just going to layer up some items on these shelves to sort of give it, you know, a realistically homey feel, because I know if this was my house, I would have a lot of things, probably a lot more than what I'm putting on, and probably not as tidy. They'd probably be all over the place, just random things. And we also have a new gaming console, and I thought it would be really cool to put that in there. We're putting up a little radio, but I do also put the gaming console, so that way he can have friends over and he can play, because he's going to be a man living there by himself, so he is going to want to have friends over. I love the fact that we can do industrial houses now, simply because those lights that I was moving just beforehand. I've never found that I've been able to use them in a build. They never suit the style of homes I'm building, because I never build industrial, because I feel like the bricks that we had beforehand didn't have an industrial feel, so I never wanted to build industrial. But now that we've got that brick, I feel like there's so many more possibilities that you can do when building. I think it's really great. So this is a shorter video, guys, so I do have the screenshots up for you now. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you do, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe so you can see more videos in the future. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye!